So I think the short answer is that I'd heard really, really good things about it. I'd done quite a lot of coaching and mentoring before the course. So I'd done some mentoring via the Association of Anaesthetists, and I'd also done an ILM5 course. But I really wanted to expand things, and quite a lot of people I know in the well-being and coaching space had done the Your Coaching Journey course themselves. And whenever I talked to them, they said, it's a great course, you should do it. So that's, I think, what got me interested in the course. And I was also listening to the podcast as well, which I've continued to listen to on the course. And what I like about that is it's really bite-sized and accessible, but it does cover some quite big topics. And often you've only got 20 minutes on your commute or something like that. So that kind of drew me in as well. So a few different things. I think in terms of coaching, it was just the range of techniques and just affirming that, there's no one way to do it, and there's a range of tools you can use, but some will suit you, some might not, some may or may not suit the person you're coaching. But it was almost like having a sort of big library of books, and you can just decide which one you're going to take off the shelf and read. So that was really enlightening and quite affirming as well. I think the other thing is the people, because you really get to know the sort of doctors who are on the course with you, and there's a lot of shared experience, and the first session is maybe like a new day at school or something, but very rapidly you build relationships with the people on the course because you do practice coaching with them. So that was just really enlightening, and there's a lot of common experience. And even if you never do any coaching after this course, there is which is not me, by the way, but you're just going to build a really good sort of peer support system. I suppose it's a bit of overlap, really, in that the content is really good online, and what works well is being able to read about stuff online before uh, before the workshops. And I think some courses will give you lots of reading material and stuff, which, can be okay, but the online stuff is very interactive and quite engaging. There are signposts to books if you want them, but for me, it was a lot more enjoyable than a reading list, and also fits into, the busy doctor world that we all live in. And I think just the interactions in the workshops are really enjoyable. It really felt like stepping away from work, although it is work actually, but it just gave me a lot of energy. So I guess community, content, and energy. There you go, three words. They're very well facilitated by you and Tom. And I think there's a recognition that, you don't know what people have had going on before they arrive in the workshop. So there's a check-in which works really well. And then lots of small group work, and then coming back together in big groups as well for learning. And although they're 4 hours, there's very much a lot about managing people's energy and attention. So, although 4 hours might seem daunting, it felt easy to do. For a lot of clinical people, they need to do this kind of course on a particular day just because of, the way their work is. So for me, that was Tuesdays, but the courses run on various different days. So hopefully that makes the workshops accessible to people. And that worked well for me. I think probably there are two aspects to this, the kind of what it gave me as an individual and also, where it's going to take my coaching. So I guess, I mean, as I said before, I think it's a great course, even if you never do any coaching afterwards. So I guess on an individual level, I'm sort of more than 30 years a doctor, about 20 years a consultant. So a lot of it is about thinking, what next or what am I interested in? And it's kind of affirmed for me that, coaching is going to be, I'm going to continue coaching and it's also going to be a bigger part of my life. Um, and also the content is very good about that. A lot of the psychology, a lot of the stuff about interactions with people, and the models you use for that, which you'll learn on the course. And it just really fits into my life and my professional life. So I think it's transformed me as an individual. And then it's transformed my coaching in that I think my coaching interactions are, or they feel to me a lot more relaxed. I don't feel I'm kind of sticking to one model. I'm, using a variety of different tools. And I think I'm actually doing more coaching because of the diploma. So, yeah, I think it's transformed things in two ways. So I'm doing continuing to coach post diploma, and that's a range of stuff. It's mainly doctors, but I am branching out into some non-doctors. I've also signed up for the advanced Your Coaching Journey diploma, so that's going to need some more coaching hours. So I'm continuing with that. I think the other thing is I've been an appraiser for doctors for quite a long while, and I continue to use my coaching skills in those interactions. So it's not coaching, but the coaching skills are really, really useful. And also in the sort of day to day as well. I think all doctors know that, clinical life can be quite challenging. And it's just made me a bit more thoughtful about my conversations, which is probably about, maybe saying less and listening more. But that can be surprisingly effective. It's almost like a sort of Jedi mind stuff. It's good. So the short answer is definitely go for it. I guess the longer answer is you'll learn a lot of really interesting stuff. It will give you the potential to be a great coach. But even if you don't do that, there's a lot of self-development stuff there. And it'll give you energy, and you'll meet lots of great people. And there's a really good community around the course and also the podcasts and the conferences. So it's almost like a ready-made gang of people that you'll get involved with. So definitely do it.